Hey, Plexus Freedom Team, welcome to our team. We are so glad you're here. You just made a great decision, joined a fantastic team, and we are excited for what this opportunity can do for you. So the purpose of this video is to help you know everything that you need to know to get your business off to a strong start and up and running as quickly as possible so that you can start earning a paycheck right away. So I am Brittany Howard. I'm a Diamond Ambassador, and I am one of the leaders who started Plexus Freedom Team.
And I'm Christina Williams, also a Diamond Ambassador, and I have been here from the beginning with her as well. So what does that mean for you? It means that we could write the book on what not to do when building your business. So hopefully we have learned some things from that, and we can bring you some tips and best practices and strategies so that you can get your business up and running right from the jump.
Yes, could definitely write the book on what not to do. Maybe one day we will write the book. Okay, so we just want to start by sharing a little bit about our own personal journeys with you. So I'm a mom of 6, and when I started this business, I lived way out in the middle of nowhere in the country in a one red light town. Did not know many people at all because I've always been a stay-at-home mom. I was homeschooling all of my kids, and on top of all of that, I'm an introvert. And so I honestly just wasn't sure if I would be a good candidate to be successful at this type of thing. However, what I found was that social selling is simply a set of skills that anybody can learn and get good at. And I was hungry for change in my life. And so I became determined to learn the skills and get good at it. So that's what I did. And because of that, it has completely transformed my family's life. I'm super, super grateful. I don't have to say no to as many things now. I can say yes to so much more. So I'm so glad that I found Plexus.
Absolutely. So different story than Britt. I was an educator. I taught here in Georgia for several years. I'm a mom of 4. But it did not take me long into my teaching career to realize that I was always going to be capped at an income, cap. Basically, there wasn't going to be anything that I could do in the classroom. I couldn't teach harder or become more creative, and the state of Georgia pay me more money. That's just not how it works. And as a mom of a lot of kids, I wanted to be able to give them opportunity. That is my love language: experiences and vacations and all the memories. And getting paid once a month as an educator did not leave a lot of room in our budget for that kind of thing. So I was open to the idea of more, but I wasn't necessarily willing to sacrifice what was the most important, since I was already giving 10 hours of my day away. So Plexus came along, loved the products. It fell right in line with things that I'm already passionate about, and sharing just kind of came naturally, especially when I realized there were other people out there making a significant amount of money. Because here's one thing I have never doubted, and it was my ability to learn. And so I recognized that if other people were being successful, I could too. If I was willing to learn what they learned and do what they were doing, I knew that I could have the same thing. And so I did. I jumped all in, decided to just become what I had to become in order to grow an organization like this. And like Brittany, my life looks entirely different. I'm now home with my kids. I'm able to say yes to a lot of things. If they want to do soccer camp or cheer camp or whatever, we have the means now to give them those experiences. And so for me, in the beginning, what the opportunity offered me was options. It offered me options that otherwise would have been very limited on our budget.
Yes. So why Plexus? What is it that sets Plexus apart and makes this the best opportunity out there? I think I could make a long list of things, but at the top of that list, I would put first our products. Hands down, we have the best in-class supplements. And our supplements are special because they address root issues that are important for every single person on the planet. Blood sugar balance, gut health, inflammation, those 3 things are the root issue that causes the vast majority of health things that we deal with in America. And so our products address foundational areas of health, and that is why we have such a great opportunity here. On top of that, our products are consumable, which means residual income, right? Also, we don't have to create a product. With this business model, the products are already there for you. So a lot of people might want to start a business, but don't have an idea for a product or service that they could invent. We don't have to invent or create anything. All we have to do is be willing to open our mouths. We don't have to create a customer service department. We don't have to create a shipping department. We don't have to carry inventory. Guys, we never actually even come into contact with the products that we are marketing to people that we know. So all we have to do is be willing to share. So those are some of the benefits of our products.
Absolutely. In addition to products, it's the people. We have some of the fastest growing leaders in the entire company right here in our team, which means we've learned some things over the years. We've created systems that allow you to step in to a ready-made business. You already have a ready-made product, and now we've created systems that will allow you to come in and get right to work. Guys, listen, not only that, probably one of my favorite perks is you get to pick who you work with. I've been in situations, and I know of people who have been in situations where maybe that would not have been the pick of the litter that they are working with every single day. And here you get to choose who to link arms with, who to build this with, who to run with. And that is a tremendous, tremendous blessing. So I definitely think people is one good reason to take a look at Plexus.
Yes. And also, obviously, the paycheck. If we're going to talk about business, we got to talk about the money, right? So social selling is actually one of the fastest growing business models in the world. Some of the wealthiest people in the world either own or endorse social selling companies. So what I love about this model is that it helps ordinary people like me achieve extraordinary things. There's very low startup costs. Most people, if they're going to start a business, they have to pay thousands of dollars in overhead or just to even get started. With this, it's very low startup and very fast return on your investment. You can start making a paycheck as early as a week into starting this. It's also a learn as you earn business. So you don't have to come in with experience or skills or anything like that. You are going to learn as you do this. You are going to earn as you learn. So also another thing that makes this business model special is that there's never an income cap. People like Christina, who was a school teacher, she would want to know, what's the most I can ever cap out at? Well, with this business model, there's never a cap. You really can multiply this exponentially as far as you want to. With this model, you can choose to supplement your income, or you can earn complete financial freedom. That is totally up to you, and anybody can do it. And I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart, but I know that it's true because I was nobody special. When I first joined, I thought I was looking at the income disclosure chart, and I looked at the top rank, and I honestly was tempted to think the people at the top, they're just special. I really didn't know what made them special. I just knew that that wasn't me, but I was wrong. Anybody really can do this, and I know that because I'm doing it.
Absolutely. So before we get into the nuts and bolts, I just want to encourage you to think really big. Be willing to do what it takes. Be willing to learn. Be willing to work hard. Guys, if you'll couple those two things with a little bit of grit, the sky really is the limit here.
Yeah, absolutely. The only way for you to not be a diamond is for you to quit. So just resolve yourself right now to never quit. So here are the ranks that you can climb through in Plexus. We get paid 11 ways, 5 times a month. And like I mentioned earlier, you can get paid within your very first week. Also, we are a debt-free company, which allows our company to be very generous with our comp plan, the incentives and fun prizes that we can earn. Also, we're backed by Morgan Stanley. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we are consistently awarded one of the best places to work in Arizona, which is where our home office is. We're always ranked high in the direct selling news, and we are one of the top social selling companies on the global list. So this is hands down a great company to partner with. So at Emerald, you have the opportunity to participate in the Lexus card program, which is super fun, and earn a luxurious trip to a tropical place such as Hawaii. That's also the very first 6-figure rank. And also, on average, diamonds are generally making what brain surgeons make. We have simple systems in place that will allow you to go as far as you want to go. On your journey to diamond, using the simple systems that we're going to share with you today, it's totally possible to make $1,000 a month, an extra $2,000 a month, an extra $10,000 a month, or more. This is not just for special people. We have a lot of people on our team that we have helped achieve this, and we are confident that you can do this too.
Absolutely. And it all starts with silver. So silver is the first rank in Plexus, and it means that you've helped 3 people get started on their help journey with your referral link. So for me, my first 3 people was a teacher friend of mine, a family member, and a really close friend.
Yeah, for me, my first 3 people were my mom, my mother-in-law, and a friend from church. Who comes to mind for you?
Absolutely. Here's what I love about this first rank is it gives you the opportunity to link arms and have that accountability as you're beginning your own health journey. Our priority is for you to love your products. And we know for that to happen, you're going to have to be consistent, and y'all, accountability really pays off. So I encourage you, go ahead and think, who comes to mind? Who do I know that's also struggling? Let's link up and let's do this together so that we have that accountability for one another. Plus, you'd be bringing in a massive paycheck right away. Talk about a return on your investment.
And there are so many people out there who are literally praying for relief from something that you have a natural solution for. And if you are not the one telling them about it, somebody is going to. Also, going silver, everybody knows 3 people. It's super simple to go silver. It's also a big deal because it's the very first rank. And like Christina said, a really nice paycheck when you hit that milestone. Also, everybody, those 3 people that you sign up, they also know 3 people that you don't know. And the people, 3 people that they sign up know 3 people that their sponsors didn't know. This is why you can build this business and be crazy successful, even if you don't know a lot of people like I didn't. This is how you multiply your business instead of adding to it.
Absolutely. So here's what you've got to know. You've got to have something that's going to drive you to get out of bed in the morning, something that's going to motivate you into activity, regardless of how you feel about it. And so for me, when I think about what is your why, it's the difference between where you are now and where you would like to be next year, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now. You guys, if nothing changes, nothing will change. Your life will look exactly the same as it does right now, unless you become the change that you would like to see. So your why, it's got to be in front of you. What do you want your life to look like? Because I'm telling you, you have the ability to design it. And y'all, listen, that idea of designing my future, it was one that took me a little while. And so I just started with thinking, okay, in the next year, what would be a blessing for my family? And for us, an extra $1,000 as a teacher, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would really give us some freedom, give us some options and some opportunities. And here's what I knew. As soon as I achieved that, that is what allowed me to think, well, if I can earn this, what's to say I can't earn $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month? So just know, picture where you are and where you would like to be, and then really sink your teeth into it, because there are going to be days that it's hard. And be okay with embracing the hard, because it's going to be what gets you where you eventually want to go.
Totally agree. There will be challenges that you face. It is a simple business. It's not always going to feel easy, but you can design a life that you love. Most people accept their lives. Most people react to whatever their circumstances are, but you can actually design a life that you truly love. You just have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone, because that is where the change happens. That is where the growth will happen. Okay, so what do you actually have to do to start making money in this business? Well, it's very simple. A few activities, there's only a couple of them that are actually going to make you money, and we call them income producing activity. If you see us use the acronym IPA, that's what it stands for. So these things are, first of all, talking to someone new about Plexus that you've not talked to about Plexus before. We call that a new contact. Or follow-up. Follow-up is when you have talked to somebody about Plexus before, but they haven't joined yet. And then the third thing that is income producing is helping other people do the same things. Oh, and what's not income producing activity? I forgot to share that. So some things in this business, especially when you are first getting started and you are so excited about your new business, you can be tempted to think about Plexus really hard all day, and you will feel like you've been working really hard all day, but really you haven't done any actual work. Okay. So don't fall into that trap. Also, things like scrolling social media, chatting with your team, stuff like that, not income producing. Although it is Plexusing, it's not actually income producing.
Absolutely. And while we're on that list of what not to do, let me tell you some do's and don'ts of sharing Plexus. Resist the urge to puke Plexus on people. Sometimes when you get started, you're really excited to let people know what you've got going on and how much you know about it. And let me encourage you to resist that.
I have totally been guilty of that before.
Same. We're in a people helping people business. And so that means you should spend the majority of the time that you're sharing Plexus actually listening to other people. What is it that they're struggling with? What is it that they would like to see results with? How long have they struggled with that? Ask good questions, because that will keep you from coming across as puking Plexus. Another thing, don't be emotionally attached to the outcome. Again, this is about them. They may or may not be willing to make a purchasing decision with you right away, and that's completely fine, because it's not about you. It is about serving other people. So be completely emotionally neutral. And we're going to teach you how to do that, because you guys, it's really normal that they don't jump in right away. Most people won't. So we're going to tell you what you can expect. And then the other thing is refrain from trying to be the expert. It's really impressive if you know everything that there is to know about the products, but here's what will happen if you rely on your knowledge. People will think, I could never do what Christina does because she knows way more than I could ever know. And we want that to not happen. So instead of you being the person that has to regurgitate the information, we're going to give you some tools that you can use to share. If you're sharing a video to help educate about Plexus, people might think, oh my gosh, she shared a video with me. I could do the same thing. So we're going to give you some tools and some resources that you can share to avoid coming across as an expert. So what should you do? Well, like I said, you should be others focused. This is about them. It's their timing. It's their health journey. You're here to just be an added support. Do strike up a conversation about Plexus. Opening your mouth about Plexus is what lets people know you're open for business. So you've got to be willing to initiate the conversation. Don't assume that people will come to you if they want to know more. That's just not true. It's just not true. Sometimes they are nervous or timid, or they assume that if you love Plexus so much, you'll initiate it with them. So do strike up a conversation and do ask really good questions. Some go-tos are, what is it that keeps you from feeling your best every day? I mean, that's a pretty good one. So, and then just follow that up. How long have you struggled with that? What have you tried before, etc.?
Okay, so starting a Plexus conversation, the key is going to be consistency. The key to success at anything in life really is going to be consistency. I mean, think about it. Your nutrition, if you want to be successful with that, you have to be consistent. Raising kids, same thing. Your marriage, same thing. Okay. So building a business is absolutely no different. And guys, if you are one of those people that is tempted to look at the people at the top and think that they're special people, like I thought, or they must have some magic secret, or they must have done some huge monumental thing that I don't know how to do, stop thinking that, because the truth of the matter is what makes people the most successful is simple daily disciplines repeated day in and day out over a period of time that eventually leads to a compound effect, much like compound interest. So these income producing activities that we are sharing with you, you can do these things part-time to work your business, but you can't do them sometimes. Consistency is going to be the key to massive success. And the statistics show that people who do income producing activity consistently will reach the top of their company within an average of 10 years. In Plexus, that average is actually much faster, but that's facts. And so, like I said, the only way for you to not get to diamond is for you to quit. And also, you need to be very consistent.
Absolutely. And the good news is since consistency is key, it's not a massive amount of activity that's required daily. On average, what you're going to find is that most people strike up conversations 5 to 10 times a day. So that's something that you can fit in the nooks and crannies when you're starting out so that you can have those conversations going. Now, you might think, why 5 to 10 conversations? It's because on average, typically 1 in 10 will respond back. 1 in 10 will be ready to engage when you initiate that conversation. The other 9 will require follow-up, which is completely normal. And we're going to teach you how to do that. So if you want to have several conversations going on at one time, getting people closer to that buying decision, then it's imperative that consistently you're starting those 5 to 10 conversations a day. I love that consistency has to be the focus, not intense bursts of activity. I just like being able to do a consistent amount of effort every day and know that it's going to compound over time.
Yes. So if the typical response rate is 1 in 10, that means 9 out of 10 are not going to respond right away. Okay. That means you have to be willing to follow up with those people. And the fortune is in the follow up, guys. You're going to hear us say that phrase over and over and over. And we're going to teach you how to follow up with those people in a way that is personable, not pushy, but persistent. And the way to get these customers enrolled is using a very simple process or system that we like to call send, share, invite. So you're going to send a message, then share a tool for those who are open, and then invite them to get started.
Absolutely. So I'm going to break down what this system looks like. First, like we've said, you've got to be willing to initiate that conversation. Send a message. Always start with a personal connection. Fight the urge to just hop in everybody's inbox without taking the time to see what's going on in their life. Take that minute, look on their social media, see what they've got going on, and find something that you can connect with before you jump into whatever you want to talk about. So, hey, I saw that your son was graduating this weekend. That's so exciting. What are his future plans? That lets that person know, hey, she actually knows what's going on in my life. And it's going to get you credibility immediately. And then share why you thought of them. Hey, I thought of you because I also have a kid going to college and I know what that's like as far as energy and mood. And listen, I thought about you because recently I started Plexus and I'm so excited about what it's helped some friends of mine with. Just curious if you would be open to taking a look. So this is a very, very duplicatable kind of skeleton of a system, because we want this to be in your voice. We want you to take the time to think about your audience. Who are you reaching out to? And then craft a message that's genuine. But listen, you cannot go wrong right here. Connect with them, tell them why you thought of them, share why you're excited, and then just simply ask if they're open to taking a look.
So, I love that first message formula. Just side note, I love that it's personable, it's not salesy or spammy, and it's very effective.
I agree. So we're going to give you a couple of examples. Go ahead and screenshot these because you'll want to refer back to them. You'll want to have them to share with people as they join you. But I'll point out a few things in these messages. Always start with their name. Avoid hey girl. Okay. So, hey Brittany, happy Monday. How have you guys been? Can't believe how big that baby of yours has gotten. I love seeing his pics. So she knows that I know she just recently had a baby. That communicates I care about you as a person, right? Anyways, wanted to connect because I know what it's like to be a super busy mama, putting everyone's needs above your own. And I thought maybe you're feeling a lot like I was feeling recently. I thought I'd reach out and share something that I'm excited about. My gal Britt introduced me to Plexus to help me with my energy levels, my digestive issues, migraines, and stubborn baby weight. I have no clue if this is something that you'd be open to, but I was curious if you'd want to take a peek. So it sounds very much like me, very conversational, direct, but still others focused. All right, next. Hey, Britt, so fun seeing you guys at church this weekend. Let's plan a play date for the littles to get together soon. I would love to catch up. I actually wanted to reach out because you mentioned you were struggling with allergies or migraines or whatever had happened to come up in conversation or that she posted about recently. And I think I found something that could help. I recently started with Plexus and I'm really excited to see how it helps me. I love this message because it lets them know I'm new too. I don't have a jaw-dropping testimony yet, but I'm still really pumped and focused on how I can serve you. It lets them know you don't have to have an experience yet. You don't have to have a testimony yet to start serving other people. A friend of mine recommended it after seeing her awesome results. It would be so fun to do this together. So again, I'm asking for that accountability. I'm asking for a partner in this to start a journey. Are you open to checking it out? So again, very direct, but also very casual, not emotionally attached, not pushy, not begging, just saying, hey, I've got this going on. I'm pumped about it. Maybe this would be a good fit for you too. Okay, here we go. Hey, Britt, so fun seeing you guys this weekend. I know last time we talked, you mentioned wishing you guys had some extra money to pay for swimming lessons and the soccer team. Well, I think I found a way you could do that. I've recently decided to start sharing some supplements that have helped me a ton, and I thought you might want to check this out with me. Again, asking for that accountability, asking for a partner. Since I started doing this, I've been noticing the qualities of people who are successful, what they have in common. And honestly, you remind me of them because of your integrity and your work ethic and your drive. I'm just curious, would you be open to checking this out? Y'all, listen, people never mind a genuine compliment, ever. So be intentional with your words and then invite them to just take a look at what you have going on. Next, I thought that was you. It's me. Next, you're going to share a tool with them. And this is what we talked about before. You want to have tools in your tool belt because you don't want people to ever think, I can't do what she does. Clearly, anyone can do what we do, y'all. But what are those tools? Well, number one, triplex video. You probably joined with the triplex. We generally start everybody off with the triplex combo, our pink drink, ProBio 5 and BioCleanse, because we believe it addresses those root issues: blood sugar balance, gut health, and inflammation. Do we have other products that are fantastic in helping people reach their goals? Yes. And they work even better paired with the triplex. It's just vital for long-term health. You're not going to see top leaders in this team starting people on anything else. Triplex always at a minimum. So that triplex video, when someone does respond to that message and says, yeah, I'm open, I'm going to say, awesome. I want to send you some great information. So tell me what you're struggling with. What keeps you from feeling your best every day? They're going to respond to that. And then I'm going to say, awesome. I've got a really fun video that will explain Plexus even better than I can. Do you have a few minutes to check it out? And then I'm going to utilize that triplex video. That's going to be how I start educating everybody. Even though I know all there is to know about triplex, I don't want to be the expert. I cannot drive that point home even more, but I'm telling you, I use the triplex video every time. Even if somebody meets me on the street, I'm like, let me send you some resources. You'll love it. Okay. That's primary tool number one. Also, in the follow-up system, you're going to need some product stories. You're going to need some testimonies that could, this person that you're talking to, that they could relate with. So if I have somebody that's struggling with energy or whatever, I'm going to find a testimony that says, hey, I was feeling the way you're feeling. Enter Plexus. Now I'm no longer feeling this way. This might be an autoimmune issue. This might be a sleep problem, whatever. You can go find a health testimony that will relate with them. And then read them because that will bolster and build your belief in the products even more. Plus, you'll have a repertoire of health testimonies in your brain so that when you do meet someone who's struggling, you can think, oh my gosh, I think I read something where migraines, like we can help with that too. So let me send you that over. So product stories and then business stories. Y'all know I'm real passionate about this opportunity because it has transformed everything for me. And so I have, again, a Rolodex of great business stories that I could send. If I'm talking to a homeschooling mom who wants opportunity for her family and wants more for her family, I'm going to send her Brittany's Diamond documentary and just say, you remind me so much of my friend Britt. These are the reasons why. Would you be open to checking out her story? I think you could relate. Or if I'm talking to someone who's a farmer's wife, I'm going to send my friend Brienne's Diamond Doc. Or if I'm talking to a teacher, I'll send my friend Jill's Diamond Doc, or my own Diamond Doc. But you want to have some stories in your brain that you can use as a follow-up tool so that you can continue to cast vision for people so that they could see themselves doing what it is you're asking them to do.
Yeah, and just a quick tip. Oh, sorry. Just want a quick tip in there. You can find these testimonials about almost anything. If you're in the testimonial group, there's a little magnifying glass at the top of the page. You can type in whatever ailment and you should be able to generate some Plexus testimonials that way. Or you can use the Facebook search bar. If you're not in a group, just on Facebook, you can also type in Plexus and eczema or whatever the issue is, and you can probably find testimonials that way too.
Absolutely. And guys, ask whoever it was that invited you, hey, where do you guys have testimonies? People can help you find that. And then once you've gotten them through that process and they're engaging with you, you're going to say, what could you relate with in that video? What could you relate with in that brochure? What could you relate with in that article? And if they're open, you're going to say, well, it sounds like Plexus would be a great fit. Were you ready to go ahead and get started, or did you have another question I could answer? So that's inviting them to get started. Use your referral link, buy their welcome pack, and get off on their own journey. Or if the timing's not quite right, P.S., this is normal, then you're going to add them to that follow-up flow, which we're going to show you. Here's the thing. Be okay with their timing. It's normal. It's absolutely normal. I can't tell you how many times I have gotten people to this point and they're so in love with the idea of what Plexus can do for them. And guess what? The timing's still not good. They go MIA for a little while. I'm very persistent with the follow-up, and they all eventually join. So you just focus on what you can control, and you let the timing and the process work itself out. Trust the process.
Absolutely. Okay. So the importance of follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up. Let me reiterate that. Because, and you need to, like, if this was written, I would say circle that, highlight it, put stars beside it. You're going to hear it over and over. The fortune's in the follow-up. Very rarely does someone order the first time they are exposed to anything, guys. Average amount of exposures before someone makes a purchase decision, 8 to 12. So if you follow up with someone or expose them to Plexus 7 times and then you give up or just take no as an answer, or you just take it personal that they're ignoring you or assume they're not interested, just know that you just loosened the jar for the next person who shares Plexus with them. Okay. So they all join, even the ones who say, no, I'm not interested, or no, thank you, or they ignore you. I promise you, we've been doing this for years and we have found they all join. And if you follow up, they'll join you. If you don't, they're going to join somebody else. Okay. And ignore is not a no. Do not treat an ignore or a no response as a no, thank you, I'm not interested. It's not the same thing. When someone doesn't respond to your message, it is likely because they were driving and they intended to respond when they got the kids into bed that night, and then they were tired and they forgot. That's typically what happens. And so you're going to want to continue to follow up. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. I've done that a million times. When I first started, that was hard for me. I did take it personal, especially if it was somebody I consider to be a friend. If they ignored me, I thought something's wrong with me. But I'm telling you, that's not the case. An ignore is not a no. And a no is just a not right now. You still need to follow up. And then you're going to need to keep your new contacts and follow-ups organized. I've tried literally every system out there. There's apps that you can use that are very helpful. You should ask your sponsor about that. Or you can just use a good old-fashioned paper planner where when you reach out to somebody, you put their name and you need to follow up with them 2 or 3 days in the future. You just go ahead and write their name on the date that you need to follow up with them. And that way, every single day, if you've consistently done that, then when you open your planner and sit down to work, you already have a list of people that you're going to be following up with that day.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, you need to add something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the follow-up flow. Look, so let's just say you send that initial message that Christina gave you earlier, and they respond and they say, sure, I'm open. Then you are going to proceed with the send, share, invite system. But if they don't respond, then you're going to wait 2 days and send the following message. Hey, Brett, I know life's crazy busy. I can barely manage to get both of my legs shaved at the same time. Haha. So I was just curious if you got my last message and what your thoughts were. So just give them the benefit of the doubt. Keep it light, be funny, and then just move along. Okay. If they respond to that message, and a lot of times people will come back to that and they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Totally meant to respond to that. Yes, totally open. What you got? Then you will proceed with send, share, invite. Okay. Now, if you send the I didn't even get both of my legs shaved today at the same time message and they still don't respond, then it's safe to assume that the timing is not right for them. So you're going to put them on your follow-up list for 1 or 2 months in the future, and then you reach back out with something similar to this. Hey, Britt, how was your weekend? It looks like you guys had so much fun. I know that I've mentioned Plexus to you before and the timing wasn't right, but since there's been so many awesome things happening since last we talked, I just wanted to fill you in. And then here you can insert anything cool that's happened, whether you might have hit the first or second rank in the company by this time, or someone who did, or you could have earned a fun prize, or you could have had a product result. There's a lot of things that would be progress or something fun that you could fill them in on here. Okay. So I was just curious if this is a better time for you to take a look at this, because I really think that you would love it as much as I love it. Could I send you a short video to check out real quick? So that is the follow-up flow. See how that's not pushy or salesy. It's very personable. And then if you just gauge their interest level, if they're open, then you're going to start sharing the tools and continue through the follow-up process, the exposure process. And if they stop responding, then you are just going to send that I know life is crazy busy message, and then just gauge their interest level from there, space it out accordingly.
Yep. So there's lots of training on how to follow up in a way that is genuine. And so we can't get into all of the facets of that tonight, but here's some ways that you can continue the conversation. Let's say that you were talking to them about the products and it's time for a follow-up and you don't really know what to do. Like Britt said, you can share a health win, your own or someone else's. Like, hey, since we talked last, my mom has had this result, or since we talked last, my husband has noticed this. Share a health win and just say, listen, the timing might not have been right before, but I thought maybe this would pique your interest. Or share about a new product. We have new products coming out all the time that are so relevant to what people are looking for today. So when a new product comes out, that's a great time to go back and reach back out to these people and say, hey, listen, wanted to let you know, we've got a new product out. It would be perfect for you because it's a clean energy drink. And I know that you mentioned energy was something that you were lacking. So thought this might be a good time for you to take a peek. Offer a sample. If you notice that you have a couple of extra sticks of Slim left over, go back and offer to drop one in the mail for someone. People love a free sample. Okay. Share current events if there's a discount or a promo, again, a great reason to reach out and say, hey, the timing might not have been right before, but I wanted to offer you one of my promo codes to see if now you might be open. And then invite them to an event. There are virtual events. You could host an in-person event, a sip and see. Invite them, give them the opportunity to come take a closer look at what you've got going on. And then if you're sharing about the business, share about new rank ups, yours or others. It does not matter. Be very strategic. If there's a teacher within your team or nearby who just hit a new rank, I'm automatically thinking, where are my teacher friends that do a follow-up? Because I'm going to tell them her story. So always use anything exciting happening within the team to go and build that credibility again and to cast vision for someone else. Again, reminder, we're not emotionally attached to the outcome because this is about them. Now, while you're engaging in this follow-up flow, it could take 1 week, it could take 3 years. I have people who are just now joining that I originally reached out to 5 years ago. And that should be encouraging because I'm telling you, they always join, always. So in the meantime, you can make your messaging and your contacts even more effective by staying relevant in their social media feed. Be sure to engage on their comments. Y'all, listen, not only does this show them that you're a human, the algorithm will reward you. They will start seeing more of your stuff if you're engaging with more of their stuff. It also allows you to continue building that relationship. I like to respond to people's stories because then it puts me in their inbox in between my follow-up flow. It allows us to have some kind of conversation that's separate from me sharing Plexus.
Yeah, and one thing I want to clarify is that if I'm in a conversation with somebody and they have said, sure, I'm open, send me what you have, or I'm happy to take a look at the info, I know that they are at least somewhat interested. So I would not be waiting a month or 2 months to reach out to that person again. Even if they stopped responding, I would assume that they're still open. They just got busy. So I wouldn't wait a month before I share with them about my health wins, or share a testimony with them, or offer them a sample, or invite them to an event. This would be how frequently I do it with somebody that I know is open. After I share that initial tool, even if they stop responding, then I would follow up at least once a week with one of these methods here listed for a month. And then after that, once every other week for about 2 months. And then I would go to once a month for ever and ever until they start responding again, or until they order. When they start responding again, it's likely because the timing is better, or whatever the case may be for them. And then I decrease the amount of time between the follow-ups or the exposures, and I will start the send, share, invite process all over again. So it's only the people who are ignoring all of the messages, or no, I'm not interested. Those I'm thinking that's a timing issue. I'll space those out a little further. So just wanted to clarify that.
Absolutely.
All right, so objections. So objections are inevitably going to come up, and they're actually a good thing. It's a normal part of the process, but an objection is simply an unanswered question. It's really good if somebody's giving you an objection, because it gives you more information on how you can better serve them, right? So it's better than an ignore, because with an ignore or a no, you don't know what their objection is because they're not communicating with you. But if they're giving you an objection, that is just them being courteous and giving you more information about how you can serve them. Okay, so you're just going to have to make sure that all of their questions are answered and the objections in their mind are handled, so that they can move forward with making a decisions. And the good news is you're literally going to get the same handful of objections over and over and over again. So you're just going to learn how to respond to those, and you're going to get better and better at it the more you do it. So there's like 3 main ones you'll get about the products, 3 main ones you'll get about the business. We all hear them, but here's the main point. Always use feel, felt, found. This phrase, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was fill in the blank. This phrase prevents you from going into convincing mode. Your friends don't want to be convinced. They don't really want to be sold to. They like to buy things and they want to be served, but they don't want to be convinced. So this phrase is going to keep you from going into convincing mode. The goal is never to convince, always to simply educate. When they know what you know, they're going to make the decision you made, but that's often a process, and that is okay. So this phrase helps you validate what they're thinking or feeling, and you relate to them, and you're telling them they're not crazy because you felt all the same things, but you're telling them, I'm just like you, but I learned something that made me change my mind, and you might be interested in this info too. Okay, so when people say they can't afford it, that is the most common objection you're going to hear. What you need to perceive when they say that is you haven't built the value of it quite enough yet. Because oftentimes people can actually afford it. The same people who you'll see on Facebook, they're out to dinner and a movie on a Friday night with their family, are saying they can't afford it. The money's there. It's just that this is not what they value the most at that point. They don't see it as valuable enough to spend their hard-earned dollars on it yet. If you're getting this objection often, then you probably need to work on building the value of the products before sharing the price. And you can do this by asking a lot of questions as they're sharing with you what they're hoping it's going to help them with. So for example, how long have you been struggling with that? I'm so glad you shared that with me. That sounds really hard. What all have you tried to help you with this? And I think, to be honest with you, what's going to make Plexus different is that it's going to address the root of the issue. It's not just putting band-aids on symptoms. Did you know that that issue is actually related to your gut or blood sugar balance or your hormones or inflammation or any of the other things you know our products help with? So I would ask those questions, and then I would say, what if this was the last thing that you had to try? So just know that objections are normal. It's just part of the process. With practice, you can get really good at handling these, and we have trainings that are way more in depth than we have time to go into right here. So check those out in Plexus Freedom Team in the guides.
Absolutely, you guys. Objections are normal. Invite them, lean into them. Don't be afraid of them. Okay, So now let's talk about how you can use social media to grow your business. Now, if you're coming into this without social media, just know network marketing has been around a lot longer than social media. So the main thing is have conversations with people about Plexus. Now, social media allows you to say something one time and have a lot of people see it. So it's definitely a valuable asset. I have built the majority of my business on social media because, again, I have a lot of kids and I was working full time. So this allowed me to serve a large audience without having to leave my home and leave my family. So this is my friend Abby. Look at her cute little post. She says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it isn't really normal to feel run down, tired, on edge, cranky, puffy, or just all the time. We should talk. So she's just letting people know this is how I felt. Enter Plexus. This is now how I feel. And then she invites them to have a conversation. So social media is really a good tool. And I tell people, post immediately. People love to follow your journey. So invite them along as you get started. Let people know what you're excited about. It's okay that you have no results yet. Let them know why you're excited to give this a shot. In the same way that we post about excited to try a new restaurant this week on date night, or we're excited to check out this boutique. Let people know what you've got going on. And then add new friends daily. This is how you'll continue to expand your network and broaden the audience that's seeing your posts. So you can add friends from the people you may know. If you're in fitness groups or health groups or gardening groups or whatever, you can add a couple of people there too, so that you never ever run out of people to talk to.
Okay, so here are a couple of really good first post examples. You're going to want to screenshot these and save them so that when you have your first joins, then you can help them make their first post. So here we go. I'm so excited to start these natural gut health products. My friend Christina has had amazing results with weight loss, balancing hormone and mood, reducing sugar cravings, increasing energy, and more. I am so pumped to insert your struggles and what you're hoping to see. I would love a few friends to do this with me. Accountability is so helpful for me on a journey like this. Drop a comment or message me if you'd like to see if this could be a great fit for you. And here's one more. So I'm sitting here looking at this pink drink. I'm a little embarrassed, a lot skeptical, nervous, and just at my wit's end. My friend Sarah has been using this product for forever. I've watched from afar, always careful not to like her posts or look too interested because honestly, I thought she was nuts, but I want what she has. I want more zest for life, my children, my husband, myself. I thought it was normal to nap on the couch every day, and I justified my short temper with my kids and my husband because I'm too busy. But Sarah, I trust her to be honest with me, and I can feel her heart in all of this. So today, I'm taking the plunge. I'm starting. I'm nervous because this is so not me, and it may be so not you. However, I want this for anyone out there too who, like me, is skeptical and miserable. Who's ready to take a journey together? Our families will thank us. I love that one. That one is super vulnerable and sounds very genuine. Guys, when you want to make your first post sound like you, so tweak these, put it in your voice, but definitely make your first post. Some things to keep in mind. Don't expect to just put a post out there and for people to just come running to beat your door down for what you are offering. That's not generally how it happens. Some people post and they might not have much engagement at all. When I started, I didn't. And don't expect to get joins right away just from a couple of posts. Although sometimes that could happen. Most of the time, though, you are going to have to actually engage in the income producing activity using the send, share, invite system that we've already shared with you today. So the people who do engage on your post, though, if they like your post or comment on it, reach out to them in a private message and thank them for their support. And just go ahead and strike up a conversation right then. Ask them if they're open to hearing a little bit about it after you thank them for their support.
Absolutely. So while we're posting, let's talk about some things that we can and can't say. Here's some things to avoid: medical names, disease names, names of medication, things like that. We really have to protect our business. And because we're not medical doctors, we can't go on there and make claims of curing anything like that. So keep all of your public posts very compliant. You can describe symptoms. You can compare how you felt to how you feel. You can share health related articles. But any of the other things, just be sure to share those privately and let people know that this is your personal experience or the experience of your friend, because we definitely want to maintain the integrity of our company, so that we can continue to share with others what we have. So here's what you have to know. You have to stay consistent and set goals. It is always going to be consistent effort over time that yields powerful results. You cannot come in with sporadic bursts of activity and expect to come across as credible to your audience. What they're looking for is she going to see this through? Is she going to stay consistent? Y'all, you can do this. Keep the promises to yourself every single day to do those consistent 5 to 10 reach outs and follow the follow-up flow.
And
Another
people
best
are watching. People are watching, even if they never like or comment on your post. I promise you, they are watching and they are wondering, is this just a thing or is she really going to do this? They're watching and they're wondering. So stay consistent.
Yep, prove them right that you are going to stick this out. And then another tip, get to silver quick. You all have people in your life who would support you no matter what you were endeavoring in. If you were selling ice to Eskimos, they would be the first in line. Talk to those people, serve them so that you can build that confidence up in yourself. Go ahead and hit that first rank. That will then bolster your confidence when sharing the opportunity with others, and then help other people do the same thing. We want people covering the cost of their products and more very quickly so that they have that confidence, they have that accountability, and they have the motivation to continue. Progress is a great motivator. So get to silver quickly.
Yes, and guys, we literally have every single tool and resource that you need to be just as successful as you choose to be. We have Plexus Freedom Team page on Facebook. You should already be in that group if you're on our team. It is a huge resource. Lots of product info in there, so much training. Guys, check out the guides in Plexus Freedom Team. There's a tab at the top of the page that says guides, and we have categorized for you all of the training that you need in order of priority that you need to learn it. So work your way through those. We have Monday Night Live Zoom calls at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is a weekly training from a leader who is going to share with you their best tips and practices, and they're already doing big things. Okay, so you don't want to miss those. And then we have Thursday night book clubs at 9 p.m. Eastern, and those are a highlight of our week. We pick a book that we are all reading together, and then we show up on a Zoom Thursday nights to discuss and dig deeper and think through it and apply it. And it's always so good, guys. We have a culture of growth on our team, and it is probably the biggest thing that attracts people to the culture and the community that we have here. And I promise, if you jump in on those, you are going to love it. Your life will be changed. Okay, and then also our triplex video. You definitely need to have your hands on that. Have it saved in the notes app on your phone for easy reference, because you're going to be using that one over and over and over.
Yeah, I love the growth mindset that our team has. You guys, none of us sit around and think we have it all figured out, but we are all very, very hungry to become the best that we can be, to lean into our potential. And that comes from growing and learning. And I'll tell you, some people have forgotten that they have what it takes to learn. And so this environment, this community, it provides that for you. So here's the thing. Where do you see yourself a year from now? If someone had told me 5 years ago that I would be here, I just would have laughed. I was just an ordinary, everyday mom, wife, teacher, loved my life then. But y'all, I desperately wanted more. I wanted freedom for our family. I wanted to know that I could control where I spent my time and where I spent my money. And I just wanted options. And that is what Brittany's willingness to share this with me, it's what it's provided for my family. And it has changed generations to come because of her willingness to share. So I would just encourage you, think about, if I could craft my own story, what would it say? Because it is absolutely possible here.
Yeah, we just want to close this by encouraging you to start dreaming again. Because like we mentioned earlier, most people, they accept where they are at in life. They don't realize that they have options, that they can change it. They can design a life that they love. You can design a life you love. So if 5 years from now, your life looked exactly the same way as it does right now, would you be okay with that? And if not, Are you ready to get out of your comfort zone so that you can design the life of your dreams? Because we both were willing to do that. And we are living the life of our dreams. And we are incredibly grateful. And we will tell you that every single doubt or fear or hard thing or rejection that we faced along the way, every time we failed forward, it was worth it. 100% worth it. So we cannot wait to see what you do with this. We are cheering you on, and we will see you at the top.